Guys, what an exciting week of announcements that we have just had. So I was going to talk about like upcoming releases and what's going to be happening on the channel from like trailers, release dates and stuff that happened last week. I was just going to talk about it like in the next gameplay video, but there's a bit to cover and maybe there's some of you that just want to like hear about this stuff. So I thought it might be just easier to do it in like a little video. So yeah, very exciting stuff. I think the Sony State of Play and the Xbox showcase were super good. We also had the Summer Games Fest as well happen. But yeah, lots of exciting stuff. Also, the end of the year, September in particular, like everyone is releasing a game in September. So it's going to be a very busy time towards the end of the year. But first and foremost, Xbox came out with the announcement of the DLC for Doom, The Dark Ages, which I'm so excited for. If you've seen that trailer, we have another new mechanic. So they introduced obviously the shield mechanic and stuff in The Dark Ages, but they're also introducing a spear mechanic as well that looks super interesting. It's got like the meat hook to it from like Eternal and stuff. Very exciting. I kind of wasn't expecting the DLC to be announced so soon. If I'm being completely honest, I can't remember off the top of my head the sort of timeline from Eternal and their DLCs. The Eternal had 2 DLCs. So I'm hoping that this is in the end that we've seen of Dark Ages after this DLC, because I really loved the Dark Ages. Like, it was so much fun. It wasn't as hectic and as chaotic as Eternal, which made it just a little bit easier to breathe in some of the encounters. But I loved that game, so very excited for that. And that is going to be coming out July 7th, so next month, guys. We are going to have new Doom content, so I'm so hyped for that. We'll of course be playing that on the channel. So that's gonna kind of be like new content for July that is gonna be covered on the channel. There isn't any new releases that I can think of. Maybe I'm missing something for July, but the next like big release that I'm sort of looking forward to is in August, which is the Beast of Reincarnation. We're gonna cover that. So that's from Game Freak, the Pokemon studio. I want to see what they've been cooking up with a new IP that isn't Pokemon and of course looks completely different, like an action game. I'm very excited to see like how they've done with something like I say completely different to Pokemon. So that's going to be covered in August. Yeah, so that leads us on to September, guys. Which like there's so many like games coming out. It's kind of like been a little bit hard to like narrow down what we want to cover on the channel, but we got gameplay reveal of Wolverine, which I was kind of like and ahhing about Wolverine, but the Wolverine's Origins, when that came out many a moon ago, I loved that game. I played that game so much. I loved like the brutality of it, and I do like Wolverine's character. But when they announced the new Wolverine game, I wasn't like as excited for like other people who had been waiting for another Wolverine game, because like I say, it's been a long time. But seeing the gameplay, how the gameplay looks, it kind of got me excited, guys. So I think we're probably going to cover that on the channel. It does look pretty like cinematic. Maybe some of the scenes are going to be like cinematic, like playing. So I'm gonna have to sort of like see how we go, but you know, from what they did show of the combat, it looks so good. It looks very brutal, so I'm glad that they're still like keeping in that vein. But it does look good, so I think we're going to cover that on the channel. We also have in September, we finally have the release date, September 24th. Yeah, September 24th for Control Resonant. I have been highly anticipating that one, as you guys probably know. We played Control in its entirety recently, including the DLCs. So Resonant is highly anticipated for me. It does look like they are playing more into combat heavy side of things, and maybe we're getting a lot more like bosses by the looks of it from these like things called Resonance. Highly anticipated game for me, guys. So we're definitely going to be covering that on the channel. I hope you guys will come along with me for that one. Like I say, Control was a great game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they're developing and switching to obviously Dylan, and like how he's gonna play. But yeah, it definitely looks like it's more heavily combat related than what obviously Control is gonna be. But yeah, very excited for that. So that's end of September. We also have Onimusha coming out in September as well, which I did want to check out as well, but I think that that's probably gone a little bit lower on the priority list since like Wolverine kind of has knocked that down a little bit. So we'll sort of like see how we get on time, if any of like release dates move or whatever, and sort of maybe see about that. Maybe they'll release a demo a bit closer to the time. But that's kind of like on my radar as well, that I want to like probably check out. But definitely main priority for September is Resonant here on the channel. And then we did have Phantom Blade Zero that was slated to come out in September, which is probably like my most anticipated game this year. Well, it definitely is my most anticipated game this year. I've been following along since like the first announcements. It looked amazing. They've shown a lot of gameplay. I feel like there's been demos and stuff that people have managed to play. I've watched a bit of those, but it does, like, if the combat is going to be like what they are showcasing, I'm so hyped for that. I feel like it's going to be probably along the same veins as Wukong difficulty wise, which, you know, I am a little bit concerned as to like how hard it is gonna be, but I feel like it's probably gonna be somewhere like along those lines. But yeah, that's probably like my most anticipated game this year. So of course we're gonna be covering that. That was supposed to come out in September. They've pushed it back, which I'm actually thankful for. They pushed it back to October, so that's gonna be our October game for sure. We'll definitely be getting into that. Very hyped for that. I hope you guys are as well, because like I say, the gameplay that they've been releasing looks just, it looks so smooth. I have covered like a reaction on the channel for like some of the gameplay that they released, and yeah, it looks so good, guys. I'm very excited for that one. We also don't have a release date yet, at least I haven't been able to find one, of the next Kena game. That's definitely highly anticipated from me. I feel like Kena doesn't get the hype that it deserves because it was such a good game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was challenging, at least I found it like challenging some of the bosses and stuff. The story was incredible, like the combat was amazing. Yeah, and I feel like it definitely didn't get as much hype as like what it needs, because yeah, that was a fantastic game, and I played it like in my own time, like a couple of times since I did the original playthrough for the channel. So I thoroughly enjoyed it, and to get to hear that they're doing a sequel, that's very exciting. It did say that they're planning on releasing it in 2026. But like I say, we still don't have a release date, actual release date yet. So I hope that that's still going to be coming. Maybe it's going to be closer to Christmas time. I mean, I'm not going to be too mad if it does get pushed back to like early next year. Like if we have the choice between a September release and it being slightly pushed back. But I hope that we get a release date soon for that, because that's another game that I'm highly anticipating. If it's like, you know, just you know, from going on the first game, very, very excited for that. So I hope we get a release date for that soon, so we can sort of like plan out like where that's going to fit in, because that is a must play for me and for here on the channel. We of course got the Witcher 3 DLC, guys, which is very exciting, coming out next year. So we are going to try and wrap up the at least the base game here on the channel. Obviously before then I'm going to try and fit it in anyway, but I kind of feel like that there isn't too much interest on The Witcher at the minute, but yeah, I would still like to get a playthrough done, and I will of course still be checking out the DLC, because like I've said before, the DLCs for The Witcher are some of the best DLCs in a game, and I will like stand by that. They add so much content, so much like just so much to the game, that if it's anything like the DLCs, which I'm assuming it will be, but anything like the current DLCs, like they're gonna knock it out of the park. And obviously the gearing is up for Witcher 4, which is going to be a day one play. The Witcher for me is like very special to me, and one of my all-time favorite games, and if not my all-time favorite game. So Witcher DLC 3 and Songs of Past, I believe it's called, and Witcher 4 will obviously be coming to the channel. Like there's a no-brainer there. We were looking at possibly playing Fable as well, which was slated to, that kept getting pushed back. Was slated to be coming out this year. That's been pushed back again to next year, February, which is fine. I did do a little poll a little while ago, and you guys wanted to see that. You can, Fable's like such a fun game, at least like what I've played in the past, because you know, you can really customize which sort of like direction you want to take it, whether you want to be, you know, a goody kind of person, or whether you want to take a more evil path. And I did put in the poll that I think it would be fun as someone who is conscious about hurting NPCs' feelings half the time, that it would be kind of fun to try and do like an evil playthrough when that comes out, and you guys like wanted to see that. So we'll play that when that comes out February next year, so that kind of like fills up our February slot, which is great. Something to like really look forward to next year. We also got a huge announcement of Resident Evil Veronica coming out next year. I never played the original Veronica, but I know that it has some like really hardcore fans of that game, and people have been screaming for a remake. So we're getting a remake. There's sort of like had been murmurs of that for a little while, but we're finally getting that, which is going to come out next year. I really enjoy the Resi games, and for getting these remakes and kind of reintroducing new people into like some of the like non-mainstream titles, I think it's great, and obviously giving that nostalgia to like old fans as well. So I'm excited for that. We'll cover that because we've done a couple of Resi games now. I was and ahhing whether to do like Resi 2 remake, Resi 3 remake. Those are some like possibilities that we can do on the channel if people are interested in it. But I definitely want to check out Veronica when that comes out, because like I said, I never actually played the original. So I definitely want to see, like, you know, all about that. Claire Redfield as well, like her story. So that's going to be one that I'll be looking to play next year as well. Of course, we had God of War Luffy announcement, which I've already done a video on that. Very, very stoked about that. That's going to be like a long time off. But yeah, still very excited for that. But a huge announcement that I wasn't expecting to have a time frame for yet, but so incredibly stoked that we do. We have the final part of Final Fantasy VII coming out in spring next year, so I'm unbelievably hyped for that. So that's going to conclude obviously the final part of Final Fantasy VII. I obviously really enjoyed the first part. I really enjoyed the second part, just like how big it was. I know some people were like not completely sold on all the mini games and stuff, but I had a lot of fun with like the options of the mini games, and we did do quite a lot of like side content and stuff on the channel. There's definitely games like I loved the Blood Queen game in that. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I mean, I'm all for a card mini game, but yeah, so there's definitely a lot of like side stuff that I really enjoyed. I loved the main story as well, like the action in it and everything. Thoroughly enjoyed that. So I can't wait to see what they're gonna do for the final part. I know they're introducing like different outfits that can give different attributes, I guess, or change up the play style. So I'm intrigued to see sort of how that comes into play and how much it's gonna offer to obviously the combat and everything. So looking forward to that. We also get to play as Vincent as well. Vincent and Sid. Sid's combat as well, if you haven't seen it, looks very interesting. But yeah, so we'll get two new playable characters, which is also very exciting. But yeah, highly anticipated conclusion. I'm definitely already sad that it's going to be over next year. But yeah, that's coming out spring. We don't have official date yet, but we've got a kind of like a ballpark area of next year, so that's very exciting. Super stoked for that. Of course, we'll be playing that on the channel. We got the announcement as well of Stellar Blade 2 Blood Rain, which I'm very glad that I started playing Stellar Blade recently. Like, there's a couple of episodes up which I've thoroughly been enjoying. Like, the combat's like really fun. But yes, I feel like I've started playing Stellar Blade finally at a good time. I've been wanting to play Stellar Blade since it came out, and we just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. The trailer that they released, so it's gonna follow a different protagonist, but obviously still in the same world and everything, and I'm sure that she's gonna have some connection to Eve, especially since her name is Evie as well, but we'll obviously learn more as it comes out. But they showcased a bit of like gameplay, and my god, she is throwing fists. So that looks like very interesting as well. Like they're already like switching up the combat as well. I believe in an interview they have said that it isn't just going to be like brawling combat, that are going to be other weapons and stuff, but the brawling aspect like looks really interesting. So super hyped for that. We don't know when that's going to be coming, but the first look is very promising. And yeah, it's got me excited to play the rest of Stellar Blade as well. Like, I was already excited for it, but you know, I can't wait to like see the rest of the game. But yeah, as long as like I enjoy the rest of the game, then we'll absolutely be playing the second one on the channel as well when that finally comes out. So a couple of other games that got announced that kind of and ahhing a little bit about. We have Gen Atlas, which is from the creator of Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, which I haven't played Ico, but Shadow of the Colossus it was a very unique game, you know, just like running around this like empty world and just taking on like these massive bosses and stuff. Very unique game, I thought, especially for like when it came out. But yeah, they've announced their new game, Gen Atlas, which giant like mech robot things. I'm kind of a little bit and ahhing about it because we've only had like little teasers. We saw a little bit more about like potential sort of like gameplay and stuff, like running around like controlling like these giant robot things and fighting other giant robot things. So I'm kind of a little bit and ahhing. I think I need to like see a little bit more of like actual gameplay about this one. But from, you know, the Shadow of the Colossus, like, you know, that was a very iconic game. So we'll sort of see as, you know, it's still in the early stages, so we'll see sort of how that develops as we get like more information about it. There's a new announcement of Spyro, a new Spyro game. Like, how long has it been since we've had a Spyro game? I loved Spyro, like particularly the first one. I played that 100% on the channel like quite a while ago now. But yeah, I played that so much, like as a kid and whatnot. I loved it. So to get a new Spyro, I'm very intrigued, but I'm not entirely sure whether there's going to be like interest for it on the channel. But that was my inner child was very excited to hear new Spyro. Like, yeah, very excited. Then we have Dave the Diver release. I'm pretty sure we've got a release date very, very soon for the DLC. I didn't write down the date, but it's coming out very soon. For the DLC Jungle. I loved Dave the Diver. I'm currently playing through another like save for Dave the Diver, and it's so much fun. Like, I'm able to sort of like take my time a little bit more, like with just playing it in my own time. But I freaking love Dave the Diver. I love the game so much, guys. Like the DLCs that are on there, like the Godzilla one, like I recently like just finished that part as well. Still good. Yeah, I love Dave the Diver, but I'm not entirely sure whether there is you know, interest enough to do the DLC on the channel. But yeah, I freaking love Dave the Diver. But yeah, if you guys really want to see like the DLC, I'm more than happy to do that. Like I say, Dave in the Jungle, like there's new areas by the looks of it, like new, you know, like the equivalent of the blue hole and everything. But just in the jungle, so that's new boss fights, new fishies, new enemies. Like, yeah, I love Dave the Diver, guys. It's such a good little indie game, and it can be like as chill or as stressful as you want it to be as well. But like, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Dave, and like I said, I'm currently playing through. I mean, like the chapter 5. Yeah, I'm in chapter 5 at the minute in my own playthrough, so getting towards the end of it. But yeah, I freaking love Dave. So good. Very hyped for the DLC, but you'll have to let me know, guys, if you want to see that on the channel, because I'm not entirely sure what the interest for that is. And then we had, I know a lot of people were very excited for this. We had the announcement of The Wolf Among Us 2. It's going to be coming out, and the remastered version of the first game is coming out around the holidays. I haven't played the first one. We did play Dispatch earlier on this year, which I thoroughly enjoyed. That was a great game. I definitely enjoyed that. Like just the writing and the stories, like the options and everything, thoroughly enjoyed it. And one of you suggested to play The Wolf Among Us, which I've heard a lot of people really enjoy. So that is kind of like came onto the radar, but with the announcement of the second one coming out, which people are hyped for as well, like that's kind of like putting more on my radar to maybe check out the Wolf Among Us, the first game. Maybe wait for the remastered version towards the end of the year. Maybe that can be like a Christmas time game. But let me know if you're interested in that as well, because that's definitely something that I am more than happy to play, especially since like I enjoyed Dispatch as well, and that's from the same team. So I imagine with the popularity and everything that, you know, the first game is great. But yeah, that's kind of, I think that's pretty much covered everything that I was super excited for. Very exciting sort of like second half to the year. But yeah, everyone's like releasing stuff in September. I won't be covering GTA. I'm just not interested. It's been many years since I've played a GTA game. And honestly, there's just other games that I'm more excited about and want to play more. Like I know some people have like asked about GTA. I'm just not interested, guys. It's just, yeah, I'm just not that bothered about it. So yeah, we won't be covering that on the channel. Horizon, we are going to cover on the channel once we get time. Sekiro, I know I keep saying it, but Sekiro will be on the channel this year. Like I'm saying this out loud so you guys can hold me accountable. I just know I'm gonna like be stressing throughout that, so that's gonna be worked on behind the scenes, but we're dipping our toes into FromSoft catalog, and hopefully depending how we get on, we will do the Dark Souls trilogy. So yes, Dark Souls 2 as well, and Bloodborne. We'll be doing that once we've done like those games. Then I'll probably leave Elden Ring till last, and we'll do an Elden Ring playthrough as well. So yeah, I do intend to get through the FromSoft Soulsborne games. But yeah, that's it from me. I've done enough rambling. Let me know if there's anything that I've missed off this list that you guys really want to see. I'm kind of anticipating a Resi 9 potential like DLC at some point, maybe, question mark. But yeah, if there's anything that I've missed, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Things that I absolutely need to cover on the channel, things that you maybe are not so bothered about seeing, definitely let me know down below, because I want to play what I want to play, but I also want to play stuff that you guys are going to be interested in as well, of course. You know, this is our little community. We're in this together, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this one here. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings. If you did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye everyone.